You need to just look in the car or something.
Ooh.
Do something.
Roll smoke.
Yeah, that's busyness.
Roll the smoke.
Right. Update. E-Type. 2+2. Jonny Long door. Clown shoe. Greenhouse limousine. Anything else? Ed? On that?
Really big in here.
Really long. Anyway, like I just said, an update. The primer, so this is the final prime now, has all been blocked down. AD's in there because I just said to him before I turned the camera on, make sure you look busy. So he's looking busy. So the primer is 320'd, yes?
Yeah.
All 320'd off. We re-primed just through here and here of the bonnet to get that reverse curve nice, because it just had a little like there that we got rid of. Pretty small. And then also we re-primed this back wing because there was a little high spot just of here somewhere. So we got rid of that. And also, on top of that, AD and Steve, there's AD still, have prepped all of the inside. So all of the epoxy primer inside has now been rubbed down, keyed up, and cleaned and degreased. Also, all the way underneath has been done as well. So now it's been degreased. The next job is, as you can see here, we are going to go round and seam seal all of the joints around the whole shell, which on an E-Type, there are quite a lot of seams, so it's probably going to take us most of the day and some of tomorrow for us to seal all those up inside, underneath, and all in the engine bay. So that is what we're going to be doing. Do we want to film any of that?
No.
No.
Boring.
I might film a little bit.
Oh, just a little bit.
Just to show you how we do it. That's that. So we will crack on with that. Maybe we'll put it on a... We could maybe put it on a time-lapse, couldn't we, Stan? When we do that, put it on a time-lapse. And that's what we're doing. As you can see also back there, behind AD. You won't believe it. Another Alpha.
What? Where'd that come from?
So we'll be doing that one soon as well. So make sure that you like and subscribe. And that's it, isn't it? Just like and subscribe. Hit the like button. No, I said that. And share. And comment. All right then.
Bye.
Bye. That is the ceiling not the ceiling, the sealering. Not the ceiling, the sealering. So we've done all of the inside. AD's there, look, through the car. He's quite a long way away because it's a Jonny Long door. But you can see from the time-lapse, hopefully, I've not watched it yet, that we seal all of these joints and then we degrease it back. So basically you end up with just a tiny amount of sealer in between the gaps. So when we, where's my hand? There it is. When we paint this, it will just be a nice transition between this panel and this panel without a gap there, but we don't want to put a big slug of sealer everywhere, like a modern car, like you would see with the big, like, everywhere. We don't want that. We want it to look clean, tidy, so you can see every panel, but you don't have a gap between them. AD's here, look, sealing the bulkhead up,
down here,
which is one of the last parts to do. Where's one? Have you done all of them now? Are there any?
One I
is there any
haven't
seals?
done.
Yeah.
Up here.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's one up here that he hasn't done, and you can see what I'm talking about. There's this gap in between here. So when you paint this, you end up with that gap still being there. The water will get in, and then you'll get like rusty stains coming through there. So we just put a bit of seal around, clean it back, And then once this has gone off, we'll go over the whole shell area where we've done it with some Scotch-Brite to get off any of the residue that's been left. And then that will be ready for some colour, which will hopefully be in the next couple of days.
Couple minutes.
Couple minutes on the video, yeah. The E-Type is now all cleaned up. It's in the booth. There's Aid.
Hello.
And as you saw, we done all that seam sealing. So what we ended up doing after that, once it had gone off, is Adi went round with some Scotch-Brite and degreaser and just took off any of the residue that was left from doing all the sealering. So it's been degreased and then blown out, hoovered out, cleaned up, degreased again, and in the booth. And Aid is just masking up the outer body. So all of this primer will be masked up so we can paint the inside. The underside, we will be stone chipping the floor pans and the arches, but we will leave up in here where the axle goes as just paint, no stone chip on that, so that the axle cradle will fit in nice on the chassis legs. We will stone chip the front corners of these because that's part of the arch of the bonnet, which will get done. So the bulkhead will get painted as well as everything else. So we'll mask the whole thing up ready for paint, then we'll put a bit of extra masking over it so we can do the stone chip areas, which you'll see in a minute. And down here, we have the doors, which we'll paint the insides of as well. And once that's done, we'll get it out the booth. We'll get the bonnet in so we can then paint the center section here where the louvers are, stone chip the arches, and also the front framework we will get in and the boot lid as well. We'll paint all the inside of that because there's a little bit much to do it all at once to get in and get round it all and keep it all wet. So that's where we are. Aid's gonna continue masking this up and we'll be ready for some paint in not very long. So on the masking, Aid's just going around the edges of it, but he's done a back mask here, which is where you fold the tape, fold the 2-inch tape over so it's got this sort of flap on it here. So when you paint it, you won't get a hard edge of paint. So when we wet flat this, because this still needs to be wet flatted after we painted the inside, you'll be able to take the edge of paint off easier rather than having a hard edge. And you'll always, if you had a hard edge and then flattened it down, you'd end up with a little sort of lip where you've had to block it out. So that is why we are doing that. Right, excuse the terrible bit of poly mask over the top of the car there. The whole car is masked up how we want it for paint, but we've just chucked a piece of poly mask over, just taped it down the sills, so we can do the stone chip, which you can now see is going to be these triangles, like I've said, through the gearbox tunnel, down through the floor pans. There, we've hung the shells, we can get right underneath it on these wires from the ceiling, and it's just on the trolley at the back. So once it's all done, we'll end up taking this trolley off and then blowing in that area. But yeah, you can see what we're going to be stone chipping, the whole floor pan, and then we're going to stop here. This will be just direct gloss, just paint, so that it's easier to get the cradle in on the chassis legs. And the arches will be done as well. So I'll quickly get some stone chip mixed up and sprayed that on, and then we'll leave it only about 20 minutes before we demask it and then go straight on with the direct gloss. It's going to be Jaguar Old English White. If I hadn't already told you that, now you know. So I'm going to go outside and get that mixed up, and I'll get the GoPro up on the wall and we'll start doing some stuff. There's 80. I said there's 80. I said there's 80. I said there's 80. Ah, there he is. Okay, that is the polymass now whipped off of the E-Type, that's what it is. We've stone chipped underneath. You can't quite see it because we used the tintable Cobra bed liner and didn't put any tint in it because we're going to be painting over it. So that's why it looks clear under there. But if I go around the front, you should be able to see there is some texture. There's the texture of the stone chip. So we've done the tunnel there and through. And we are about to put some colour on. We've got the Norton PPF cups, so they will vacuum up with the air and we'll be able to get all up inside and nice and easily and spray upside down because the cups are soft. If AD pushes at the bottom of that cup there, look.
Push your bottom in, shall I?
See, look, it's
squidgy.
It's squidgy, and as you paint, the pot will get smaller and you'll be able to get in all the tight little spaces. So I'll put the time lapse on and we'll start that now. Yeah.
Yay!
Yes, there's Stan, if you saw him. That's the E-Type now painted underneath and on top. There's someone down under here.
Hello!
There's Haiti.
Yeah.
He's just admiring the underside, which we cobra'd or wrapped the liner, or whatever you want to call it. And you can see under here, see the texture there. That is a long floor pan.
Yeah.
And there's Stan with the mullet out. Oh, let me get up. So yeah, as I showed you, we stone chipped the floors and then we came back and we stopped just under here where the anti-roll bar sort of mount goes, and then it went back to normal gloss up over the axle, stone chip in the arches, and all of the inside is in direct gloss
Yeah, they can smell that.
finish, which is, yeah, if you could smell how nice it smells in there. And of course, we have also done the doors, which are here. So we will now get this out of the booth. We'll guide coat the outside because that'll be ready for some wet flatting now. And then, like I've already said, we'll get the bonnet, boot and front framework in so that we can get those into colour on the insides. And that's all gone quite well. The wires haven't snapped, so it's still up in the air. One good thing. Can you play us a tune or not? I can edit in some harp there. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get it out the booth now that Stan's played us a magical tune and crack on with the rest of the components.
Lovely. Oh, yeah, you paint the roof as well. As well, the roof as well.
Update on the E-Type Jonny Long door 2+2 greenhouse clown shoe limousine. AD's in the booth.
Hello.
And he's masked up the bonnet so we can do the underside. We've put some stone chip in the arches and then demasked it so we can paint the whole thing. The front framework is here, picture frame, front frame, side frames. The boot lid is in here, and it's pretty much ready for us to slap on some direct gloss. So I'm gonna do that now. This is pretty much the last, what I would call boring part of the paint job before we can actually get the shell back in here and paint all the outside, which is the funner part, if there is a fun part in painting it. Hopefully for the paint job, I'll have a new set of painting overalls because I wasn't going to wear these again, and now I am wearing them again, and they stink. They're bad. They're sweaty. Sweaty bad. So yeah, gonna send some paint round. Yeah! E-Type is in the booth. Steve's here. AD's here.
Oh, hello.
And all the wet flatting is now done. The underside of the bonnet and the boot and the panels, not the panels, the frames are over there. They're all now in colour. So the last bit to go into colour is the exterior of the car.
What colour's it going?
You don't know yet?
No.
Don't say what colour it's going. I don't want anyone to know.
What?
So, as I was saying, we are masking it all up now. So I'll put the GoPro on and a time lapse so you can see how that happens. And we're going to do it all with paper. What's the other stages? Yes, we have always been polymasking it with the plastic sheet. But when it gets to the paint stage, we use the paper because you can get a nicer finish and it stops all the dust coming off, where the polymask can be like that. All the dust can come off and flap around everywhere. So it's a nicer job when it's papered. So that is what we're doing. Now you all know. Next stage, we'll be putting some colour on it. Let us know in the comments
In a few minutes.
what you think of everything so far. And if you are still watching, congratulations.
Well done.
You've done well.
Proud of you.
It's been a long journey.
Nice shirt, mine. You can buy those.
And Christmas is coming,
Yeah.
so think about it.
Well, by the time I've made it, it might be next Christmas. The video.
Well, the new one's out by then.
Yeah.
We do a special Easter t-shirt.
That's the E-Type pretty much masked up. 80's down there.
With your lollipop stick.
There's a lollipop stick. Steve's just doing the boot lid, which is the last panel to do. So we fine line it around the edge of the skin where it wraps around, so you don't get an edge out here. So you get a nice, you won't be able to tell that it's been done inside and then the outside. So as you can see, all papered up, all the way underneath the bonnet and the shell, right the way underneath. That is basically that done and ready for a final degrease and a tack off, and then we will start chucking some paint on.
In a moment.
He's not talking. Does that mean he's still filming?
No, you're all right, mate. No, he's gone.